Next will be Martin Schneider of the VDZ. Yeah, obviously there will be large costs for CO2 abatement for the cement industry. And I have recently read in the publication by the VDZ about the cost of transporting CO2 to final storage sites, maybe in Norway or other places where there is storage. Is there a rough estimate about the additional costs of the cement price the CO2 abatement will incur?
Yeah, cost and price is of course a difference. Yeah, but I know what we know is that the cost of production, which of course in the future have to include the CO2 capture cost, the transport, and also the storage cost. There is a significant part of the overall cost, and this is roughly between 110 and 160 euros per ton of CO2. So this is I think as a good estimate. You asked yourself, why is the bandwidth so big? Yeah, that has of course with different factors to do with different factors. There are still some very site-specific aspects which make a difference in the capture costs. There's of course a distance between the plants and the next pipeline, whether you have an intermediate storage needed or not, and also some other aspects applying this technology to your specific situation. But this is the overall picture that we see today.
Interesting question. I think, yeah. Is there any recommendations from your side, VDZ standpoint and also personal, besides the CBAM, to save local production of cement inside the EU when transport of cement from outside would maybe incur new CO2 emissions? Yeah. CBAM is the carbon border adjustment mechanism.
Yeah. They're only interesting questions, obviously. So very good. No, that's a good one.
Especially when they come from me.
As in my previous answer, the CO2 decarbonization is coming with high costs, and of course it's clear that there's no level playing field. Yeah, if one producer has high costs and the other not, that is of course, it's at least for the transition times very difficult. In particular, when these low-cost cements would come from out of Europe, and therefore the European Commission has had installed the CBAM, the carbon border adjustment mechanism. Now, this is, and that comes to the answer then. This is, of course, for external cements which do not comply with the European approach. Yeah, but we also have in this transition phase internally some time slots or some times where we have an unleveled playing field. Yeah, so the ones starting earlier than the others. Yeah, but we don't have a full CO2 market yet that is reflecting this. Yeah, so the consequence would be, and that is those who are the front runners here, they need, at least for the investment, they need support. Yeah, otherwise, if they were investing now and they come with high prices, high costs and high prices at the end, they are not competitive. So we need first of all, we need support for the early goers here when it comes to investment. Second, we got to make sure that CO2 efficient cements in the markets, they are bought. Yeah, so we're talking about green markets here, and it's a good development taking place in many countries over the world, also in Europe, but it needs to be implemented, in particular when it comes to public procurement. As we all know, procurement today is basically based on prices. So the best prices is typically, the best choice for being assigned the project after a tendering process. So, and I think many governments are now considering, particularly for public procurement, because public procurement is the biggest part of construction measures, in many countries in Europe. So we need kind of an incentive that also the CO2 efficient materials are being bought, and that there's a level playing field, so that they can prosper, in these markets. And there's still some way to go, but I think there's a good opportunity, good development that we can see already today.